Bagay dito sa Pilipinas tong kafala system kasi puro makakafala mukha ng mga tao dito. Puro mga kafala yung mga tao dito. The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. President Duterte renewed his call to abolish the kafala system, which he says allows the exploitation and oppression of migrant workers. In his recorded address to the UN General Assembly, Duterte described the kafala system as a behemoth that chains the weak, the desperate, and the voiceless to unimaginable suffering. The kafala system requires migrant workers to be sponsored by a citizen or company in the host country, and sponsors have nearly total control over workers' employment and immigration status, leaving them prone to abuse and exploitation. The system is currently in place in Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, and the UAE.
Millions of Filipinos work abroad under the most difficult and inhumane of circumstances. We call for the abolition of all structures that allow exploitations and oppression of migrant workers. The kafala system is one such behemoth that chains the weak, the desperate, and the voiceless to an existence of unimaginable suffering.
U.S. President Joe Biden called on nations to work together against the COVID-19 pandemic. In his first speech to the United Nations General Assembly, Biden touted that the U.S. has spent more than $15 billion toward the global pandemic response. That's on top of purchasing 500 million vaccine doses for use by the World Health Organization. However, the U.S. is also being criticized for authorizing booster shots for its citizens, while poorer countries have yet to complete vaccinations.
To fight this pandemic, we need a collective act of science and political will. We need to act now to get shots in arms as fast as possible and expand access to oxygen, tests, treatments to save lives around the world.
Meanwhile, Biden added that America's withdrawal from Afghanistan marks the start of a new era of relentless diplomacy for the country. He also mapped out a new era of vigorous competition without resorting to a new Cold War.
U.S. military power must be our tool of last resort, not our first. And it should not be used as an answer to every problem we see around the world. Indeed, today, many of our greatest concerns cannot be solved or even addressed through the force of arms. Bombs and bullets cannot defend against COVID-19 or its future variants.
MMDA Chairman Benhur Abalos says almost 87% of Metro Manila residents have now received at least their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Let's get more details from Greg Gregorio, now reporting live from Antipolo. Good afternoon, Greg. Let's break these numbers down some more. How many people in the NCR have been fully vaccinated, and how many have received at least the first dose?
Charles, in a kapiyan sa Manila Bay Forum this morning, MMDA Chairman Benher Abalos mentioned that about 8.520 million individuals in the National Capital Region have already received at least first dose of their COVID-19 vaccine, and about 6.694 million of them have already received 2 doses or have been fully vaccinated. This means that 68.31% of the 9.8 million target population in the metro are already fully vaccinated. Charles?
Right, Greg, could you tell us more about these vaccination targets, at least for the end of the year? We are inching closer and closer to these targets. How far off are we, and what's the prospects now?
Charles, according to Abalos, by the number of those individuals who are waiting for their second dose, they are projecting that by October 20, they might achieve about 80% of their target population who are already fully vaccinated. And then by December 20, the National Capital Region may achieve about 89.77% or close to 90% of their target population fully vaccinated. Charles?
Right, Greg, as Metro Manila comes closer to herd immunity, is the government eyeing to officially roll out vaccines for the general population and maybe minors soon?
Charles, at least for MMDA Chairman Benher Abalos, he said the vaccination of the general population as well as the pediatric population still depends on the decision of the IATF, with also consideration to the pending recommendation of the Department of Health and vaccine experts. If we could already include in our vaccination program those pediatric population as well as the general population, considering the fact that we are still looking at the insufficient supply of vaccines for the entire population in the country. Charles?
All right, Greg, we're now a week into this new alert level system as well as granular lockdowns. What is the assessment so far of authorities insofar as this new system is operating with respect to the COVID-19 situation?
Just according to Abalos, even though the pilot implementation over Metro Manila is just a week yet, he said data are showing good signs for the number of active COVID-19 cases in the National Capital Region. It went down from 40,122 on September 15 to just 36,042 as of September 19. For the reproduction number of the COVID-19 transmission in the National Capital Region, Abalos cited analysis from the Okta research, which says reproduction number went down from 1.90, which was on August 15, to just about 1.03 as of September 21. He also noted the negative 18% one-week growth rate recorded based on our data of COVID-19 cases in the metro. Charles?
Yes, Greg, Okta Research is reporting a certain downtrend that they've noticed, but then still a lot of people affected by granular lockdowns. How many people have been affected so far?
Just according to Abalos, as of September 20, about 3,000 families under 931 households are affected by the implementation of granular lockdowns in various areas. This includes 9 streets, 3 buildings, and 1 floor of a building with 100 units in the National Capital Region. Charles?
Right. We are halfway through this pilot run of this new alert level system. Are we looking at maybe a possible downgrade in alert levels after this 2-week pilot run given this trend?
Just according to Abalos, for the entire 2-week pilot run of the alert level system, no restrictions will be, no adjustments will be made for the restrictions over Metro Manila under this alert level 4. But according to Abalos, with the gains that we have made already, they're hoping to downgrade the alert level over NCR to just alert level 3 after the pilot run of this alert level system. Charles?
Thanks for those updates, Greg. That was Greg Gregorio reporting live from Antipolo. Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno is gunning for the presidency in next year's polls with Dr. Willie Ong as his running mate. The Okta Research Group says the COVID-19 reproduction number in Metro Manila has decreased further to 1.03. And the Games and Amusement Board summons San Miguel player Daniel de Guzman due to alleged game fixing. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.